I'm Katherine, I'm 33 years old. I live in London and I was diagnosed with cervical cancer in August 2014. And I remember thinking, what does that mean? The gynecologist said there is something called the radical tractalectomy operation, which you just remove the cervix with the tumour. So the impact is it would reduce my ability to conceive, so I'm more likely to have miscarriages, but I can still conceive, which was very important to me because I was just about to get married. The plan was to start a family. Even though cancer sounded very scary, it was a relief to know that the doctor isn't saying I'm going to die tomorrow, and there was a plan. Gynecologist confirmed it was stage 1B, early stages, confirmed the size, confirmed that the radical tractalectomy procedure was doable. My husband accompanied me to the appointment to meet with the surgeon because that was the key appointment that we've been waiting for. I got the letter and it confirmed that my appointment was going to take place on the 23rd of September, and that was 3 days before my wedding. So I pleaded for it to be postponed if possible, and most importantly, if it's not going to be detrimental to making the situation that I do have even worse. So we managed to reschedule it for 2 weeks later. So I went in, I came out. Next thing I remember was it felt like I was in space. It was the recovery room. It's amazing how quickly your body does recover. The dressing dried, the wounds healed, the stitches dissolved as they said it would, and I was almost bouncing after 4 weeks. So 6 weeks after my operation, the surgeon told me that the operation was successful, but based around the size of the tumour, he didn't get the clearance that he wanted, which was a bigger sample to ensure that any potential abnormal cells may have escaped. And reviewing my original diagnosis, he projects it's going to come back. He projects that the cervical cancer is going to return. And then he said he's done everything that he could, so he's going to refer me to see a radiotherapist. And the only way to reduce the chances of the cancer coming back is to undergo radio and chemo treatment. Actually, radiotherapy was mentioned at that time, not chemo yet. And I said, oh, okay. It sounded very harsh to undergo radiotherapy treatment to catch potential abnormal cells that may turn cancerous at a future date. And most importantly, radiotherapy kind of destroys your ovaries, so immediately the ability to conceive is not possible anymore. So I was really adamant. I've never been so decisive. I'm not undergoing radiotherapy, okay? It's not worth it. We'll try and conceive, and if we're not successful, then we'll decide whether we go down the radiotherapy route. Doctor said, okay. What happens if you conceive and the cancer comes back when you're pregnant? Then what are you going to do? Silence. To give you treatment after the cancer has come back, you don't know where it's going to come back. You don't know how aggressive it's going to be. The doctor was right. There is no high possibility of us conceiving, especially I have undergone tractalectomy, and it was known to me that I would struggle to conceive anyway. And I don't know the answer if I was to get pregnant and it was to come back, what I would do. It'll probably be in the situation 1,000 times worse than I am now. And because I know it was the right decision to make to have the treatment, not necessarily the decision I wanted, and that's why it was more painful. We agreed that we've got to make the decision that is right rather than the decision that we wanted. And the next thing that was on my mind was, how do I tell my parents? I had to tell them, because it was going to impact something that they were expecting, which is grandchildren. Ray was amazing, because there's loads of other routes that we can conceive, you know. And at that appointment, the doctor did touch on IVF. What we can do for you is look into the option to freezing embryos for you. But then that would be determined whether, following the health test, that you are both fit and well, and you can undergo that process. I have just received my first 3-month all clear, so it definitely hasn't come back, which is elating. I think anybody that's been diagnosed with this, there is no doubt that it is very scary. So ask all the questions that pop up to your head. There are no silly questions. If you don't want to announce it to the whole world, at least find one person to share your story with, because we are all humans. You do need a comforter, and you do need someone to understand and to empathise with your situation.